Hello, universe. Welcome to my world. We're still doing Angelina Jordan, and today we're featuring the song Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. It was written by Bob Crewe and Bob Gaudio. Bob Gaudio is one of the members of the Four Seasons, and it was sung by Frankie Valli. Frankie Valli had the beginnings of his career with the Four Seasons, and he made the song massively popular in 1967. And this song has had many, many reincarnations. Before we begin hearing some of the differences, let's approach today's video with a different spin. Let's focus on how much the feeling of the lyrics is captured by the feeling of the music, because sometimes there's a bit of a contradiction. For example, the first two songs that we hear are from massive pop icons from the 60s. The first one is Bobby Darin, who is most famous for Mac the Knife. And then we will hear from Andy Williams, who had the Andy Williams Show in the 60s, which was very, very popular. When Bobby Darin sung Mac the Knife, it was very, very edgy. Here, he's singing Can't Take My Eyes Off You in an up-tempo, which I don't think matches the feeling of the lyrics, because the lyrics basically are a love song and he's not really matching it. But when Andy Williams sings a song, he sings it with feeling and tenderness to match the love song. Let's hear the difference.
Pardon the way that I stare, there's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak, there are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true, can't take my eyes off of you.
If you're singing a love song, then the feeling in the music should match the content of the lyric. Now we're going to the world of disco. Almost by definition, disco is for dancing, and it doesn't really capture the emotion of the love content with the lyrics of the song. That doesn't mean that these are not very, very good performances, but in the late 70s and in the early 80s, disco was very, very much in fashion. We will hear the very well-known version by Boys Town Gang. Then we will go to Holland to hear Gerard Joling. And then we will go to Brazil and hear a disco bossa nova version by Juliana Aquino.
Take my eyes off of you. And pardon the way that I stare, there's nothing else to compare. This side of you leaves me weak. Oh yeah, there are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Oh, I can't take my eyes off of you.
Pardon the way that I stare, there's nothing else to compare. The thought of you leaves me weak, there are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, oh, then let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true, take my eyes off of you.
The next two versions, both of them I really like a lot. The first one is by Isaac Hayes. He became famous by singing the theme song of the movie Shaft, and his version is soul. As a rule, soul really captures the feeling. That's why it's called soul. And then we will next be hearing from our good friend Katrina Marie. She graced us with a delightful interview a few weeks ago where she spoke about the behind-the-scenes creation of jazz song and the world of the music industry, which is not on the surface. She's singing a jazz version, which is very good, it's full of feeling, and there's a lot of variation to her voice. I rate both of these versions. Let's hear soul and jazz.
You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off you. You'd be like heaven to touch. Yeah, I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived.
Just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm the lonely nights. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say.
You can really hear the achiness in her voice and even the sweetness in her voice. Next, we're going to three unusual versions. The first one is by the Canadian superstar Shawn Mendes. His version is very heartfelt and very sensitive, which really fits in with the nature of the love song. Then we will be going to two very contrasting versions by the same singer. Her name is Emily Flood. She's a young American singer. And the first, she's doing an acoustic version, which is pure and sensitive and full of feeling. And then the same vocals are taken by the music producer Surf Mesa, and it's made into an electronic dance song, which has been massively popular in the last couple of years. Look at the difference between the musical interpretation of her acoustic version and the electronic, and it's completely different impact.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You're just like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I just thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. Long last, love has arrived. I thank God that I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
The next two versions are, I think I have to call them hip-hop. The first one by Jennifer Pena, which is being sung in Brazilian, or Portuguese if you prefer, is a combination of hip-hop, but also bossa nova. That is followed by the hip-hop version from Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill very famously sung Killing Me Softly. What I've done with her, you may notice, it's a little bit out of sync with the audio and the visual. What I've done, rather than taking the best version of her singing and showing you her photo, or taking a live version where the recording does not do her justice, I've spliced the two together. I've taken a version of her singing without the audio, but with the audio of her best performance.
No hay nadie igual como tú, eres mi cielo y mi luz, la fe que me hace creer que todo puedo vencer. Eres como te soñé, tal como te imaginé, eres mi príncipe azul, no hay nadie igual como tú.
You're just too good to be true, can't take my eyes off of you. You be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
Now we're going to the original song sung by Frankie Valli. We really cannot start talking about Frankie Valli without talking about the Four Seasons. This song by Frankie Valli was probably one of his first solo performances, but with the Four Seasons he started 62-63. The story of the Four Seasons is captured in the show and the movie Jersey Boys, which really made them even more famous than they are. The Four Seasons grew up in New Jersey, which is about 20 or 30 miles from where I grew up, and the Four Seasons and the Beach Boys were considered really the only American groups which were popular before, during, and after the British invasion. And so I'm just waiting for Angelina Jordan to do any Beach Boys song so I can begin to do a video around them. The other thing about a group like the Four Seasons is that they really provide the soundtrack for my life. Well, at least a soundtrack for my youth, or a slice of my youth. When I used to go bowling as a teenager, there used to be a jukebox there, and for 10 cents a song or 25 cents for 3 songs, we would be able to put on some of the Four Seasons records. Now, probably the most famous ones are Sherry and probably Big Girls Don't Cry. The 3 I'm going to play a very short clip today. The first one is Walk Like a Man.
He said,
The next one I remember really well is Candy Girl. And do you know how I talked about how a song provides a soundtrack for your life? Well, the next song from the Four Seasons is Ronnie. And when I was in high school in the mid-60s, there was a girl sitting next to me, and her name was Ronnie, and I had a massive crush on her. And whenever I hear this song, I think of her taking me back to my high school years. This is the soundtrack of my youth. Now we'll finally get to Frankie Valli singing Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. And you'll notice the same thing as with Lauryn Hill. Rather than showing his standard renowned performance of the song with just a photo, I've chosen a live performance where the recording is not good, and so I've spliced the two together so we get a sense of him singing while at the same time the best recording.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived. I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
Well, we've finally come to Angelina Jordan, and her version of Can't Take My Eyes Off of You has had many views. So for many of you, it's not a secret. But from the criteria that we're using today in listening to this song, where the feeling matches the content of the lyric, this is where her version really, really stands out. She's singing a love song, and the feeling that she has from this love song, the experience that she communicates, makes this just an exceptional song. Have a listen to this.
You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. I love you, babe, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm a lonely nights. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you. You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
I love the way she doesn't rely on her voice to overpower us, but she uses her voice to convey a certain emotional content from her with an emotional impact in us, and it's different than the other singers. That's why we have an Angelina Jordan channel. Okay, gang, we will hear more from Angelina Jordan. I'm out of here. Catch you later. Bye.